All right, today we're going over 5 different items that I think every man should be carrying daily. We'll have one bonus item at the end, or an honorable mention, whatever you want to call it. But we're going to do our scripture reading, and then we'll jump right into it, so stick around. All right, today's scripture reading, we'll be doing Proverbs 11, verse 2, and then we'll hop right back into the video. When pride comes, then comes dishonor, but with the humble is wisdom. All right, so I think every man should be carrying things to enable themselves to be able to protect their family or whoever they're with. And I also think that they should just daily carry these things because they're good things to have. There's different variations of everything here that you could carry. Yeah, so we're going to talk about our 5 things I think you should have on you at all times, or as much as you possibly can. Bear with me, it's cold outside, it's a little windy. Hopefully the mic doesn't pick it up. I just got these, so we're trying something new, but let's get into the content of the video. So first off, you can have this everywhere you go. I don't know a place that will restrict you from carrying or wearing a watch. I think every man needs a watch. Doesn't have to be anything crazy. Get what you can afford, but something to keep time. Don't always have your phone with you, and it might not always be appropriate to pull out your phone, but to check the time or whatever it might be. But you can always have a watch on you. There's tons of cool watches with gadgets and features. This is like a $50 G-Shock, so nothing crazy, but get yourself a good watch you can tell time with, and they look cool, so if nothing else, you look less like a sissy, I guess. All right, moving on, we have a wallet. Again, doesn't matter what type of wallet you have, but carry a wallet and carry cash. Cash is king. Debit cards and credit cards are cool. However, cash is pretty much universally accepted, whereas although debit cards and credit cards are becoming more universally accepted, they're not, I don't think, as much as cash. I was at a place a couple days ago, a restaurant that only took cash. So have cash on you, especially if you're traveling. All right, next up is a flashlight. I think everybody needs to carry a good pocket light. Doesn't have to be anything crazy. And you can carry a huge pocket light, small flashlight. And again, I know your phone has one, but there are advantages to having something like this. This is the Streamlight Micro Stream. It takes one AAA battery. It's got a little S clip on it that you can attach it to your hat. And it's also got a regular pocket clip. So I could wear this like a little headlight, which I have done before. And it is a lifesaver. Other thing, you can put this in your mouth to hold it. If you need both your hands, you don't have a hat on. Can't really do that with your phone. And this is much brighter than my phone. So I think that everybody should have a good flashlight on them. They should be carrying it. And again, there's hundreds if not thousands of options. So there is something that will work. Next up, we're going to go to a pocket knife. I just carry a regular Swiss Army knife. I don't know the model of this one, but it's a Swiss Army knife. It's got two blades, bottle opener, a couple screwdrivers, scissors, and a couple other features on it. I like the utility of it, so this is what I carry. I don't know how to knife fight. If you do know how to knife fight, maybe carry a second blade. But I think that you need a knife. The utilities of it are tremendous, even if it's just a single blade. So every man should be carrying a knife on them. This is just kind of a little bonus thing. My buddy made me this. It's a little holder for them. I don't like carrying stuff with the clips because I've had them break off or get caught in things and then lose the knife. So I carry them like this in my pocket. You can get these online, I think. But anyway, shout out to Nathan for making it. Next, and arguably most important, is a handgun. Every man should have a handgun on them. And granted, you can't always have this with you if you follow the rules or laws, depending on where you live, especially if you're in a slave state like California or New York, or if you live in Chicago. I know it's not a state, but anywho, Illinois. Get yourself a good handgun, Glock. You cannot go wrong with, and they have their slimline now with, or have had for a while, I guess. But get yourself a good handgun. Get yourself a good weapon light. I think this is equally as important to having a light in your pocket. You'll hear stuff out there that says you don't necessarily need a weapon light, and no, you don't necessarily need a weapon light, but I think it's important to have so you can illuminate what you're shooting, see what you're shooting, especially if you have to use your weapon at night. Most bad things happen at night, and yes, you could do the old little Call of Duty style, turn your flashlight on and walk around. However, if you can have both hands on your firearm and maintain good control over it, or better control over it, I think you're setting yourself up for a better, to be be able to protect yourself better and be able to shoot better under stress. So although like I said, I recommend you carry a pocket light, I also think you should have one on your weapon if you can afford it, along with a red dot. I think that these are the future, or the future is now, which is red dots. I think that you should have one if you can afford one. Obviously, these are much more pricey, generally speaking, than a light. But if you can afford one, wonderful. I think you should get it. Ultimately, whatever you have on your firearm, you should be training with, whether you have no light or you have no sight, red dot, you should be training with what you have. So get yourself a good, reputable firearm and carry it every day. Get comfortable carrying it, because this is what you're going to trust your life to if things go south. So, all right, so I cannot believe I forgot to film this, but another thing you should have with you every day is some form of medical. So this is a little pouch that my brother made. This was in another video that I had made and talked about. I'll carry this when I have more pocket space. If I'm not carrying, or when I carry this, I also have a tourniquet with me. I always have a tourniquet with me if I'm not, even if I'm not carrying this. So a tourniquet's a little easier just to throw in a pocket than this guy because it gets a little chunky. But all this is a SWAT T tourniquet, some clotting gauze, and then just some everyday band-aids. All good things to have with you. Like we talked about in my everyday carry EMT video, Doug talked about this. Know how to use what you're carrying. So if you know how to do all the way up to a needle D and an MPA, and you're comfortable and have learned how to use those things and are certified to use those things, especially like a needle D, then by all means carry them. And if you are not able to, or you don't know how to use those things, and it's something you want to learn, obviously take the courses, learn how to use those things if you want to carry them. Not that you can't carry them, but once you start getting into more invasive processes, you're probably going to want to be certified on them. But nobody has to be certified to put a band-aid on, or use some clotting gauze, or a SWAT T, or a regular tourniquet. And those are all things that you can watch a 5-minute YouTube video on and be comfortable learning how to use them and even practicing them on yourself. It's really easy to practice a tourniquet. Hopefully you all know how to use a band-aid at this point in your life, but every man should be carrying some form of medical with them in their everyday life as well. So, honorable mention, a Hankey. I carry a Hankey every day. I'm probably like the last straight male of my age that carries one, because I think it is useful. My dad's always carried one, and I picked it up from him. I just keep it in my back pocket. Tons of utility. Blowing your nose is primarily the main thing that I use mine for. So I don't know, people think that's gross, I guess. I don't really see why it's gross. I just wash it with my own laundry. So anyway, but there's other utilities to it. For example, my uncle got his finger cut off using a wood splitter, and my dad had his Hankey that he was able to wrap the wound with real quick so he wouldn't get blood all over my mother's car, because she would not have been happy about that. So I don't know, there's other utilities for a Hankey, but bonus item. I don't think that one's as important as the other ones. But definitely get yourself a good firearm. Definitely carry cash. Have a pocket light, a knife, pocket light, flashlight, yeah, a knife, and a good watch. Thank you for watching another episode, or I keep calling these episodes, not episodes, I guess. They're videos. Thanks for watching another video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I have the mics now, so hopefully these will help, even when it's windy. I don't know how this sounds right now. I guess I'll see, but share this with somebody that you think needs to see it, and stick around. Keep training with your stuff. Be a man. Don't be afraid to be a man, and be masculine. Thanks.